Our next presentation will be from Dr. Jinwoo Kim. He will start the postdoc position in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at the Texas A&M University this August. He has been working in the Smart and Sustainable Construction Research Group and Human Biobehavior Signal Lab. He completed his undergraduate and master's degree study in the architectural engineering. His research interest includes a smart and sustainable built environment with crowdsourcing, wearable sensing, multimodal data, signal processing, geospatial intelligence, and artificial intelligence. His presentation is titled Pedestrians as Sensors, Capturing Environmental Distress of Pedestrians Using Large-Scale Biosignals. He will share with us his research on how the spatial analysis of a biosignal can be leveraged to capture the environmental distress of pedestrians and how Daynamica app application have been used in collecting biosignal by integrating wristband-type wearable sensor. Dr. Kim.
Hi everyone, thank you very much. Thanks so much for being here today. I'm Jinwoo Kim and I'm a Postdoc Research Associate in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Texas A&M. Today I'm going to talk about pedestrian as sensors capturing environmental distress of pedestrians using large-scale biosignals. Imagine there are a lot of trashes around you, and you can find a toilet here and also gas container right next to you. But you have to walk in this path. You maybe feel distress or even disgust from these elements. Many previous researchers identified that these elements saying negative environmental stimuli can negatively impact on the walkability of our neighborhood, and also it can change the health behavior of urban citizens. And it can even increase the colonic illness such as mental disorders, depressions, and obesity, and so on and so on. So I can say that assessing and managing these elements is important to promote quality of urban citizens' life. Let me more talk about the conventional approach to evaluate negative environmental stimuli in our built environment. You can find here two forms. One is from the U.S. Department of Transportations, and this is about walkability checklist. And the other one is built environment assessment tool by the CDC. And local governmental agencies measure their cities using one of these instruments every 1 or 2 years, and using the collected data, they set up the plan in terms of how to renovate and how to fix their cities. This is very reliable, strong, and widely used, but it also still has some inherent limitation. First, this is not free from subjectivity concern. It can be easily affected by humans' recent experiences to surrounding environments. And also, it requires a lot of time and effort, so it cannot be learned frequent manners. And then, this form is designed for all the community, but each community may serve for different particular demographics, such as different age, gender, and others, so it may not reflect the special needs of certain demographic using only 1 or 2 survey forms. So we need some more supplementary approach to mitigate the inherent limitation of conventional approach. So recently, there is some research to utilize the biosignals from the wearable sensors, and using the biosignals, we can create a map that shows distress of pedestrians. And in particular, I want to mention that over a quarter of US population will use wearable sensors in 2025, so many people will use these sensors, still already use these sensors, and there are many efforts to secure the privacy protection and to ensure the signal quality. In particular, I want to emphasize that the growing interest of urban citizens to their surrounding in surrounding neighborhood would be the key motivational factors to willingly contribute their biosignals to create such a map that shows distress of pedestrians. In this context, my current research aims to examine the usability of biosignals collected from real-life settings, the daily life settings, to capture the environmental distress experienced by pedestrians. In this research, I'm focusing on 3 different biosignals: walking patterns, and electrodermal activity, and heart rate from the wristband sensor and smartphone. The rationale I choose this biosignal is it is easily crowdsourced using current wearable devices, and also there are many researchers already revealed that these biosignals is effectual to better understand the user's physical and psychological response to external environment. So to conduct this experiment, this research, I need 2 chunks of data. One is biosignals and the locational information, GPS data. With the trip mode, I'm only focusing on the walking trips. And the other data set is I need ground truth. Here is survey to better understand distress assessment of subjects during their daily lives. Then I collaborated with Daynamica company to collect the data well. So as you may know that using the Daynamica app, we can know the trip behavior data. And also, after finishing the walking trips, the Daynamica app automatically provides the survey to the participants, so I could collect the data well. So this is one example about the survey. So after finishing their walking, the Daynamica app provides the survey to the app users, and they can see their walking trajectory through the app, and they can point out where they feel stress level. So using this survey information, I could better understand where they feel distress level during their walking. Then I try to connect between 2 sensors, Daynamica app and the smartwatch, using the Bluetooth mode. And at the end, I could collect the trip behavior data, survey data, and 3 different biosignals. And let me more talk about the experimental protocols. I recruited a total 67 participants, and they wear the smartphone and smartwatch for about 2 weeks. And the total experimental duration was about 5 months. And at the end, I could collect the 1,561 walking trip from the 67 participants, and they reported that 1,581 locations where they feel distress during their walking trips. And this is one example. So the blue line is one walking trip from one subject, and we can know that these subjects encounter the stimuli, which is about block these sidewalks and readers. This is reported by subjects. And okay, this is short video clip to better understanding about this. So this is collected from the controlled route experiment, and the middle video is collected from subject's chest camera. And 1 second, please. Yes, so subject is walking, and you can find the 2 real-time biosignals. One is walking pattern, the other one is electrodermal activity. Orange one is raw signals, and blue one is pre-processed data from our developed method. Once the subjects found dead animal body, we can find that their biosignals changed. So we try to assure that whether biosignal is really usable in outdoor setting first, before this experiment. Then this is from the actual data of dead walking trips, and we can know that it is about the 200 200-second walking trips, and around 600 seconds, these participants encounter the stressors, the blocked sidewalk and leaders. And then I try to extract the value before encountering the stimuli and after encountering the stimuli to see the direct association in the biosignals. As I mentioned, I got 1,581 stimuli, and you can find that I tried to differentiate into the different categories, and many people reported that they feel distressed because of poor walking surface and no sidewalks and lack of crosswalks. And I tried to see the association with the biosignals, and walking pattern and EDA shows quite a good result in this statistical model, but somehow heart rate shows a bad result because we check these phenomena in the control environments that the heart rate somehow showing some lagging effects. Although heart rate changed, but walking pattern and EDA is instantly changed because of the stressor, but heart rate is relatively slowly changed. And then this is another analysis, the collective distress manner, and I created the binary classification model. So I mapped all the data in the actual map, and I create a location-based segment, and if in a segment, if there is at least reported stimuli, I denoted that this is stimuli segment. And in a segment, if there is no stimuli, I denoted that this is non-stimuli segment. And using the classifier, I try to classify it into the two different categories of non-stimuli segment and stimuli segments. And the interesting fact is that if I use only one biosignal modality like walking pattern, it's just showing about 50 to 55% of accuracy. But if I combine them all together, it greatly improved the prediction accuracy up to the 80%. So it was quite interesting result. And now this is in progress works. I'm trying to visualize our collected data to deliver this information to the end users. And there are 3 different layers here: biosignals, like an EDA here, and reported stimuli. And last layer is about mean walking directions. So the biosignals was columned from the blue to pink, and the reported small circle of the reported stimuli means the small number of the report in a location, and large circle means a lot of reports. It was normalized by the number of walking trips. And let me explain you this using this figure. So here, using this black arrow, we can know that majority of people walked from left to the right. And then they encountered the stimuli, which is about the blocked sidewalk, poor walking surface, and readers. Then we can know that their biosignals color changed from green to yellow. It means that their EDA signals changed, and we can assume that they feel some emotional arousal because of the stimuli, then their biosignal maybe changed. Then this kind of information can be fed into the navigation applications such as Google Map. So for example, many people are using Google Map, and Google Map is only provide the estimated time to reach to the destination. But if we can provide one more layer, the estimated distress level to the users, they can use these informations for their mobility planning. I firmly believe that this information will be more usable, more important, especially for vulnerable populations such as elderly, children, and pregnant, to avoid negative environmental stimuli during their walking trip. And also, governmental decision makers and urban practitioners use this information for community redesign and retrofits. I'm currently working with City of Houston people to see how they can use this information to plan their cities. And conclusion. So in this research, the results indicate the biosignals collected from the pedestrians' wearable devices could capture the effects of negative environmental stimuli, and this finding highlight the opportunity in assessing built environment and or even walkability using the biosignals in purely data-driven way. And the limitation is still this require more analysis, in particular constructing, validating, updating, and deliver to the end users in order to reflect as is environmental stimuli. And future research also will focus on the vulnerable populations and assess their differences from the young and healthy adults. This is funded by 2 NSF grants and 2 internal Texas A&M grants. And there are many professors, Dr. Changbom An in Seoul National University, and Dr. Theodora Chaspari, Dr. Chanamni, Dr. Youngjip Ham in Texas A&M, and Dr. Jane Winslow in Texas A&M University, and Dr. Yoonu Nam in University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and Dr. Han Lee in Texas A&M. And there are many students, Mega, Esan, and Jaeyoon, and they contribute a lot in this research. These are references. Thank you very much.
Is there a difference between the stress of encountering some of these things as barriers or obstacles the first time versus when they're encountered regularly?
So you are mentioning about the familiarity. So if they are continuously encounter the same stimuli, it may be impact on the biosignals or their response. Is it correct? You are? Yes.
Yeah.
There may be the good, maybe confounding factor or common phenomenon. So I didn't analyze about that points, but we collected the survey data, whether how familiar they walked around their walking path. But our assumption here is that we are crowdsourcing a lot of data from one certain location, and if the location continuously showing some distress pattern in the biosignals, we are going to look into the place. So this is our assumption. So maybe for the future, we need to incorporate those one factors. So yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.